Good evening. My name is VPartlow, and this is my slide presentation for Module 1 for Special Education EDL 853. This is my second class at Fort Hays State University, and I'm currently live in Stafford County, Virginia, but I was originally from Kentucky by way of Long Island, New York. My father transferred to Kentucky in 1977, and so I started second grade there and graduated from Anderson County High School. I've been married for over 10 years, and my husband and I share a home with our 15-year-old nephew and our very spoiled miniature dachshund. I have a Bachelor's of Arts in Communication Disorders, a Master of Arts in Interdisciplinary Early Childhood Education, and a Master's of Science in Library and Media Science. I currently am an early childhood special educator for a preschool program. I teach 3 two-year-old students with special needs in a self-contained preschool class and 8 four-year-old students, 4 with special needs, and 4 peer models in an inclusive classroom. I also see 1 student in the home. We refer to this as a natural resources student. Been fortunate enough to have lived and worked overseas. I was a contractor for the Army in the Early Intervention Program, as well as a special education assessor for the Dodea school system. I currently work at Rock Hill Elementary in Stafford, Virginia. Rock Hill is a pre-K through 5th grade school with approximately 600 students. Rock Hill supports our special needs students population by the following classrooms. We have 5 preschool special education classrooms. In that 5, the makeup is 3 of them are what we consider 3 and 4-year-old classrooms. So we have 3-year-olds in the morning and 4-year-olds in the afternoon. 1 teacher teaches both 2s in the morning and 2s in the afternoon. 1 teacher has a 3-year-old classroom in the morning and then a 3 and 4-year-old classroom with only children with autism in that classroom. And then, of course, my classroom is a 2-year-old in the morning and a 4-year-old in the afternoon. We have a autism classroom in our school that serves our children with autism from grades kindergarten through 5th grade. We have 2 LS1 classrooms. We also have a primary support teacher who supports our kindergarten and 1st grade students. We have 2 special education teachers that serve our 2nd grade through 5th grade. We also have on staff 2 speech language pathologists, 2 half-time occupational therapists, 1 half-time physical therapist. We also have a school psychologist assigned to us, and she does mainly testing for our students who are in the referral process for special education or who are due for their 3-year annual testing. And we also have an educational diagnostician, and our educational diagnostician also assesses our students who are in the special education process. She also test those students who are going through their triennial reviews. But also, our educational diagnostician serves as an administrative designee along with our assistant principal for all the meetings pertaining to our 504 students and our special education students. Preschool, of course, is a language-rich program, and the use of kind of content-based learning takes place throughout the daily routine. Our curriculum is adapted to meet the needs of children with special needs and children who are also English language learners. The preschool program for our county, Stafford County Schools, is located in several elementary schools, as well as an early childhood center, which houses not only our special education preschool, but early Head Start, and the Virginia Preschool Initiative. Starting in the fall of 2019, we are excited to be opening a second early childhood center, and therefore there will be no preschool classrooms located in any of our 17 elementary schools. In my classroom, we learn language through STEM projects. So I have science topics that we address monthly, such as learning about apples or pumpkins or ice and snow, as well as magnets and ramps. The children learn the language of science as we study and learn about science concepts. All of our literacy activities take place throughout the daily routine, and we focus on comprehension, answering questions, and learning vocabulary. And our math activities are talked about again all through our daily morning routine, through hands on learning activities, as well as in our daily play centers. Our special education preschool program uses several different assessment programs to look at ongoing progress. Those assessments are created with special education students in mind, such as the Brigant's Inventory of Early Development 3 and the VB-MAP, which is the Verbal Behavior Milestones Assessment and Placement Program. We typically use the VP-MAP for our students with autism. We don't necessarily serve all of our students with autism in the autism preschool classroom. For example, in my 4-year-old classroom, I currently have 3 students who are medically diagnosed with autism. And out of those 3, only 2 of them are educationally diagnosed with autism. My other little fella has what we call a developmental delay. The curriculum we use in our preschool program, we use Learning Without Tears, which used to be called Handwriting Without Tears, but now they've expanded that curriculum to not only include handwriting activities, but now reading, writing, math activities throughout the whole curriculum. We also blend that in with the creative curriculum. We do Zoophonics, which is a motor-based program to learn the sounds and letters of the alphabet. And then we are tasked to be using with Owl's Pals, which is a social emotional program that Head Start uses. And so they've liked for us to use that. I personally have not used much of it in my classroom. However, it is a really cute puppet-based social emotional program. So some of the things I would like to see, especially since we are moving into the new center, is I would like to see an increase in paraprofessionals from 1 full-time and 1 half-time to 2 full-time paraprofessionals for all preschool 3 to 5 programs. Currently, if you're in a 3 to 5 classroom, depending on the needs, we all have 1 full-time para and then 1 half-time para. Our classroom for children with autism has 1 full-time para that works all day, and then there's a half-time para that works in the morning, and then there's a half-time para that works in the afternoon. So technically she has 2 paras, but that job is split between the 2. In our 2-year-old classrooms, we only have 1 full-time para because we usually only have up to 4 students at a time in our 2-year-old classroom. However, all of those students are students with special needs. It's not an inclusive classroom. I would also like to see a classroom for our moderate severe preschool students. A lot of our really severe students are on what we call natural resource or homebound programs. But for instance, I do have a moderate to severe preschool student who does not walk, has a G-tube. And I would like to see a classroom kind of more geared for her as she moves into the 3-year-old classroom. Right now, the 2-year classroom is absolutely great for her. But as she moves into an older classroom and there's going to be more and more students in there, I would like to see something a little bit maybe with less students in it for someone like her, where she needs more intervention and help as she moves through her daily routine. Also, one of the things we've talked about in this county for years is to create a developmental kindergarten program for special needs children and children who are just not ready for the rigors of kindergarten. And I would like to see that housed in our new early childhood center, because it's kind of a mix of what you see in an early childhood program, that developmentally appropriate practice using play as a basis for learning, and mixed with some of that more seat kind of work for kindergarten that a lot of our little friends have a hard time with. Funding for these programs have to be approved by the Board of Education because we're asking for an increase in our staff members, classroom materials, as well as research needed and curriculum developed for developmental classroom. Funding has already been approved for the school year, and requests for these need to be discussed, researched, and voted on prior to our next fiscal year.